I'm 85 years old, and there's something I need to say that still makes my chest feel heavy when I think about it.
People like to believe that time fixes things, that distance cools anger.
I believe that too. I told myself, he's busy. He'll call when things slow down. I told myself, we'll talk properly one day. I told myself, there's still time. When I was younger, I thought I was doing everything right. I worked hard. When I was younger, I thought I was doing everything right. I worked hard.
I provided for my family. I built a life people respected. I woke up early, came home tired, and told myself I was being responsible. There were promotions, pay raises, handshakes from important people. There was a house that kept getting bigger. There were things we didn't have to worry about anymore. And I thought that meant I was winning. I didn't notice how often I said, "Later. Later we'll talk. Later we'll take that trip. Later I'll listen properly." I didn't notice how quiet dinner became, how my son started spending more time in his room, how our conversations turned into quick updates instead of real talks. I thought that was just part of growing up. I thought that was normal. Looking back now, I see how empty it really was. I was present in the house, but not really there. My body showed up. My mind was always somewhere else. The turning point didn't come with fireworks or shouting. It came quietly. I was 72 when my doctor told me my heart wasn't as strong as it used to be. He spoke calmly, no panic, just facts. He said, "At your age, you need to slow down." Slow down? I had spent my whole life speeding up. That night, lying in bed, listening to the soft ticking of the clock, something settled deep inside me. For the first time, I understood that my life was not endless. There would be a last morning, a last meal, a last conversation. I didn't know when, but I knew it would come. And suddenly, all the things I had chased felt very small. I wanted to hear my son laugh again. I wanted to sit with him without looking at the time. I wanted to know his thoughts, his worries, his dreams. So I tried. I reached out more. I asked how work was going. I asked how he was feeling. But years of distance don't disappear in a few conversations. He was polite, kind even, but something had changed between us. There was a wall I hadn't noticed building. Then one day, he didn't call. At first, I didn't think much of it. I waited. A week passed, then 2. I told myself he was busy. That's what I had always said. So I waited some more. I picked up the phone many times and put it back down. I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to seem needy. Funny how proud we become about the wrong things. Months went by. Our short check-in calls turned into holidays only. Then even those faded. And one quiet afternoon, sitting alone by the window watching people walk past my house, I realized something that felt like a punch to the chest. My son had slowly learned how to live without me, and I had taught him that lesson. Not with anger, not with cruelty, but with absence. The terrifying realization wasn't that he stopped calling. It was that I hadn't truly been there when it mattered. I had been busy building a life while missing the people inside it. I treated time like an endless supply. I believed the lie everyone believes. I'll do it later. Later when work is calmer. Later when things are easier. Later when there's more time. But later is a dangerous word. Later turns into years. Later turns into silence. Later turns into regret. You tell yourself you're doing things for your family, but one day you realize they needed you more than they needed the money. I used to think success would make everything feel complete. I thought if I just reached the next goal, I'd finally relax. But the goals kept moving. First, it was a better job, then a bigger house, then more savings. There was always something else to chase. I remember a man I worked with, Thomas. He used to say, "Once I retire, I'll finally spend time with my kids." He worked longer hours than anyone, retired at 65, had a heart attack at 67. I went to his funeral. His daughter stood there crying, saying, "I thought we'd have more time together." I remember nodding and still thinking it wouldn't happen to me. We all think that. The regrets don't come as one big moment. They come in quiet waves. I regret the evenings I chose work over listening. I regret the trips we said we'd take someday. I regret the times I was too tired to play. I regret not telling my son how proud I was more often. Remember one night he came into my office when he was small. He held up a drawing and said, "Look what I made." I barely looked up and said, "That's nice, son." He stood there for a few seconds, then walked away quietly. I can still see his little shoulders drop. I would give anything to go back to that moment, to shut the computer, to sit on the floor with him, to ask him to tell me all about it. But life doesn't give refunds. It only gives memories. Some warm, some painful. What actually matters is much simpler than we make it. It's people. It's time together. It's being fully there. I know it sounds obvious. When I was young, I would have nodded and gone right back to being busy. I thought love meant providing. Now I understand love means presence. It means listening. It means showing up when it's inconvenient. It means choosing people over progress sometimes. Let me ask you something. If tomorrow was your last day, who would you wish you had spent more time with? And what would you regret doing instead? Sit with that for a moment. If I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't give long speeches. I'd say, stop thinking you're too busy. Start answering when your child talks. Stop chasing things that won't hug you back. Start choosing time over money sometimes. Stop waiting for someday, because someday doesn't always come. I'm 85 now. My mornings are slow. My hands shake sometimes. My heart isn't strong. But strangely, I understand life better now than I ever did when I was young and strong. I would trade every achievement I ever had for one long afternoon with my son. Just sitting, talking, laughing, hearing about his life. But time doesn't bargain. It only moves forward. So I sit here, hoping he's happy, hoping he knows I loved him, even if I didn't always show it right, and wondering how many people right now are saying later, without realizing later is quietly slipping away. Tell me,